Hey, welcome everyone to our April 30th E3 Live with Dr. Mike on Sunday. Tonight we're going to talk about a really interesting thing that happens when you use the bands. Not everybody, but many of you have experienced a reduction or elimination in pain. Some of you might have even had a reduction in pain in a different body part than you were working with the bands. Why does that happen? Let's hear a couple stories. Just before we get started, Gaylord, let me find you here and unmute you. Here we go. Okay, Gaylord.
Hey, Mike.
Welcome, Gaylord. Yeah, share with them what you've noticed with pain in your body.
Well, I had two areas of pain. My hands, particularly my left hand, left wrist, was very arthritic. Being a golf professional, it was really hampering my game. It really hurt. I couldn't open a jar with it. I could barely hold on to the club. And I also had two knee problems. I had a slight meniscus tear in the left knee. So I was always wearing knee braces when I was playing golf. And there was just overall arthritic pain. And I started using the bands, and I would say about 3 or 4 weeks into it, I got up one morning and opened a jar of almond butter with my left hand and didn't even realize I was doing it.
Yep.
And that's when I called you and said, Mike, what's going on? Because it was in my hands.
Yeah.
And then after about 2 or 3 more weeks, the pain in my left knee went away. And after about 4 months, I have no longer required knee braces, and I can put regular grips on my club.
Awesome.
And those things were very limiting my ability to play golf, and it really wasn't that much fun anymore. Now I'm back, and I feel like I'm 40 now, and I'm playing at a high level.
Gaylord, you're pretty smart. You're pretty smart in the health world. If you weren't using the bands, what else could you do to eliminate that pain? Is there anything?
Well, I was using a variety of different lasers on my wrist. I actually would take one with me on the golf course, and pain cream and a red laser from Vibrance. I was using that, and I also have an iTerra one that I was using also, just among a few things. There's a lot of really cool stuff.
Guess what I was saying, Gaylord, is did anything else you use have an impact on that, on your knee? And
nothing but temporarily.
Yeah.
Just in the moment, it would help.
Okay. Awesome.
And it was very, very amazing to be able to be pain-free again. And bless you, Mike, for bringing the bands to me.
Awesome. Thanks, Gaylord. Hey, one more story. Let's get Mary Wellman on. Mary, are you unmuted?
Yeah, I'm here, sitting in my living room.
Okay, Mary.
I have had a back issue for years that I have no disc between my L4 and my L5, only bone spurs. And so if I do the wrong activity or too much, probably the hardest thing I have to do is lay flat on my back. It really creates pain. And I had gotten to the point that I was taking ibuprofen and Tylenol combination together for pain relief. And then I realized, you pointed out, Mary, just, do a wall sit. In the morning, get started with a wall sit. But bottom line, if I consistently do my B3 exercises, my back pain is almost completely eliminated.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Mary, for sharing that story. Let's find out why this is happening. Okay. I'm 52 years old. My body hurts, my shoulder hurts, everything hurts. And I can no longer lift weights. And then, an amazing thing happened to me. But why does this pain get eliminated, or why can we reduce it? Nitric oxide and growth hormone, you've heard me talk about this, but it declines with age. Nitric oxide brings oxygen and blood to your joints. So as you age, you've got less blood and oxygen going to your joint, okay? And the repair that goes on, regeneration of the cells, that's growth hormone. that also slows down. So now these things are going on in the joints, and then maybe we have an overuse or a specific accident, and then we get pain. When these things are low, we see changes in skin, body composition changes, arthritis, obviously, early cardiovascular disease, diabetes, hypothyroidism. A lot of people have that, bone density, even brain degeneration problems. Here's what some of the medical journals say. Musculoskeletal pain due to ischemia. Ischemia is lack of blood flow. Is present in a variety of clinical conditions, including pain syndrome, fibromyalgia, neuropathies. Major contributor to arthritis is reduced oxygen saturation coming from the blood. And tendons. Why do we get tendinitis and not ligamenitis, right? We get tendinitis because the tendons have less blood flow. So once these joints and soft tissues less blood flow, it sets up problems. And what if we could increase the blood flow and oxygen to painful tissues? Well, that's what Breakthrough has done. All of you on the call know about the B3 bands, and many of us just look at the physical side of it. Reduced body fat, muscle strength, but inside your body, you are going back in time. If you're 40, it's like you've got the nitric oxide and growth hormone you did when you were 25. Now, I don't know anywhere in the world but you can make that happen other than using the bands, but that's what's happening. Okay? So I use the bands with Dr. Jim, 3-pound pink dumbbells, and I get done and I move my shoulder around, it doesn't hurt. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Immediately after that, no shoulder pain. And that's our 3-minute guns workout. Think about people you know who have pain. Shoulder, neck, wrist. Could we help them in 3 minutes a day? You could help thousands of people with our 3-minute guns workout or 3-minute arms. Then I put the bands on my legs, started doing the squats. After set number 2, my right knee wasn't hurting. And yet, I mean, it continually hurts. Been hurting for 5, 6, 7 years. So here I was, like a lot of people that you know, and maybe you, there's no way out of this. I mean, lasers are great and these different tools we have, but that's treating the symptom. If you want to treat the cause of these problems, you got to elevate nitric oxide and growth hormone. Okay? That's our 4-minute legs workout. So somebody who's got knee pain, hip pain, ankle pain, could they do 4 minutes a day of light exercise? Well, if they do it and get the burn, they're going to get nitric oxide and growth hormone. And that's why I started this company. I was like, what the heck happened to me, Jim? And he explained these things to me. Hey, Mike, when you get that burn in your muscles, that stage 2 hypoxia, we're going to talk about it, it improves blood flow, not only to the joint that's being worked, but the entire body. Hence, Gaylord is working his arms, he's working his legs, he's getting a release of nitric oxide and growth hormone, blood flow is improving everywhere, and his thumb feels better. Here's exercise. Most people hang out in stage 1. This is elliptical, walking, cardio, biking, walking the golf course, rowing machine. You are using a muscle and you're using up oxygen. So now you're getting hypoxia, but it's only level 1. The only thing that happens is your heart rate increases and your breathing increases. This is where most people are. Okay? This is the fascinating thing you're going to learn tonight about the bands. It's too hard to go farther. If you're on the elliptical, you got to sprint. If you're walking, you have to run. If you're on an exercise bike, you got to go up a hill, or you're not getting into stage 2, the burn. And immediately you get a nitric oxide release. Why? The body is sensing that the muscle needs more oxygen, so it releases nitric oxide, which is right in the blood vessel, and it opens the blood vessel. So Gaylord's probably got some reduced size of blood vessels into his thumb, and he's got less oxygen going there. So immediately now, the blood vessels dilate, and the blood thins so it can get to places it wasn't getting before, thinner blood. Most people can't get here. Probably 95, 98% of people who exercise hang out in stage 1. And what happens? They have more pain afterward, a lot of times, and they're stuck. right? There's nowhere to go. You can't exercise your way out of it. It's interfering with your daily life. Many times we end up in surgery. But what if we could increase blood flow? Now let's go back to that slide where I told you that the medical journals say the most common component of all these pains is ischemia, lack of oxygen. So here your tissues in areas like Mary's back is not getting enough oxygen because there is a reduced blood flow that just happens. But nitric oxide improves blood flow everywhere. It gives you energy and performance. It improves blood flow to your brain, heart, and organs. So a lot of you, you'll do the bands and then you'll notice you've got a strong focus. That's the nitric oxide. And it goes to your joints, ligaments, tendons. It helps atherosclerosis, blood sugar problems, virus, and bacteria. It is anti-aging. You're going back 10, 15, 20 years to levels of nitric oxide you used to have. Amazing, fascinating. But you got to get to stage 2. Most people can't get there, right? Because they got pain or they're not willing to push hard. Then after exercise, not during, after. If you get the burn and stay in the burn for a couple minutes, you can't just go touch the burn. You got to stay in it for about 2 to 3 minutes, doing some exercises. You're going to release growth hormone. Most people have never experienced a surge of growth hormone like you'll get from the band. So they're going through their whole life, right, with tissues that are chronologically aged way higher than we need them, right? We want 25-year-old tissue if we're 40. I'm 59. I want 35-year-old tissue throughout my body. And that's growth hormone. Remember, nitric oxide brings the blood flow. That's temporary, reduces some pain and oxygen. Now here comes growth hormone to make the joints younger. Now, what does growth hormone do? It reverses the manifestations of aging by 5 to 15 years or more. No, there's single therapy available that can have the impact on the body that growth hormone can have. Reduce wrinkles, tighten saggy skin, decrease body fat, increase lean muscle, boost energy, make you look and feel decades younger. And then, well, what else is it doing? It's going to your joints. It's going to Gaylord's thumb. It's going to Mary's back. And the tissues start repairing and get younger. Okay. Let's look at some stories. Dusty, she had multiple sclerosis. She couldn't exercise because the exercise that she was doing in stage 1 would flare up the multiple sclerosis. So she can't exercise her way out of it. She's stuck. Like so many people you know, stuck in pain. What happened? Her mom got her in the bands. And after a couple workouts, she noticed her pain started decreasing. We moved her to stage 2 with easy workouts that don't aggravate her pain. Stage 2 does what? Nitric oxide. All of a sudden now, in her tissues that have multiple sclerosis, she's got increased blood flow. And it was just a game changer for her. Fibromyalgia. We have so many people that have undiagnosed pain. You know what fibromyalgia is? Pain without a diagnosis. And so many people have this. But what if these tissues, like Jennifer, got more blood flow and oxygen? She had chronic long-term pain, probably 15 years, couldn't exercise. Within a couple workouts, her pain goes away. She said, I never thought any of this was possible. It's like Gaylord, Mary, people get arthritis in the back. And then the joint is not getting enough blood flow and oxygen. So the joint is deteriorating. It's like taking miles off your tires, right? Miles and miles and miles. Eventually you get to a bald tire. That's what your joints do. Within 2 weeks of using the bands, his 20-year knee pain went away. Now, if I asked all of you what happened, all of you would say nitric oxide improved the blood flow, because with the bands, he was able to get to stage 2. Enough hypoxia, body adapts. Never thought any of this was possible. Rick Burkholder, Kansas City Chiefs, they now got 2 trophies. He uses this for pain relief on his NFL players. And he said it's fascinating. Everything heals faster, growth hormone, and everything feels better, nitric oxide. So this is being used at all levels, all the way up to Super Bowl champion. If you want to share that Rick Burkholder, that's a great one. It's on the front row of your mobile app. What happened to my pain? Nitric oxide, growth hormone. How did I get to stage 2? Because of the bands. The bands reduce the oxygen in the muscle that's flowing. So now we're walking, but it's like we're running. We're on the elliptical, but it's like we're climbing a hill on the Peloton. We're lifting 3-pound dumbbells, but it's like we're lifting 20. And we release nitric oxide and growth hormone, and we go back in time. Now, you want to double growth, you want to double anti-aging? There are specific key nutrients, 4 of them, that your joints need. Your tendons, your ligaments, all your soft tissue needs specific collagen peptides, not bulk collagen. There's probably 10% of the good collagen in bulk collagen that most people buy. This is targeted collagen. One's Fortigel, it's for your joints. Okay? The other one's Verisol, it's for your skin, hair, and nails. Next, you need essential fats. We've got that in there. Fat-soluble vitamins and minerals. You see, when you get all 4 of these, now the growth hormone can really do its job. So Mary's back, Gaylord's thumb, his knees. He's getting the growth hormone. He's getting the nitric oxide in there to relieve some pain. Now here comes the growth hormone to repair the joint. And the growth hormone has the nutrients to do it. I'm telling you, you're going to double healing. If you haven't tried this, this is our main product. You've got to try B3 Start. It tastes delicious. We have it in a caffeine and a caffeine-free. Every morning I get up, I make my fruit smoothie. I got 4 or 5 fruits in the freezer. Put that in there. Little water, little ice. My scoop of Start. It's absolutely delicious. But more important, I'm giving all my tissues the nutrients that needs to stay healthy. We got a product on energy, B3 Alert. If you haven't tried that one, awesome. Got over 10 energy factors and focus factors. And we have a delicious meal shake that we took $15 off the price. Now it's affordable, $59.99, $54.99. For members, try this, because you need protein after your workout. Okay? So now how do we help everyone? You got the books. Inside the books are the stories about pain. There's 3 or 4 of them there. People are going to relate to the stories in the book, but we've got to get them to read the book. Here's what I would do. Anybody you know in pain, I'd say, hey, tell me, how's that knee doing? How's that shoulder doing? How's that back? And listen to them and tell them, if you could get some nitric oxide, which your body produces, you might be able to reduce or eliminate that pain. And say nothing else. Leave them curious. Don't go explain it. Don't give them the story. Let them read it in the book. You want them to read the book. And tell them, I think this can help you. I'm going to gift you one of these books. And you're going to see in the book how nitric oxide reduces pain. You always, when you give a book, everyone, if the problem is they don't have enough time to exercise, your response is you're going to see in the book how you can reduce time. So you repeat what the goal is when you hand them this book, so they go in there with curiosity. They're like, hey, I got to see this. Who's got pain relief? And I can tell you, I bet 50% of adults, I didn't do a check online, but it's a massive number of people who are suffering and are not getting the human way that we were designed to get pain relief. We're popping pills. We're doing surgeries, maybe not necessary. So get out there and share this with people with pain. The books are easy to get. If you're on here tonight and you don't have the books, I would get 30 or 90. Now, let's talk about results. You only need 10%. You buy 30 books, you pass out 30. You only need 3 to profit and help them get 30 books. Now you got 90 books being passed out. This is how you create a mass marketing campaign where other people that we've helped are passing out books in your business. So if you get 5 people passing out books, that's 5 times your prospecting. And they get 10 people, you got 15. That's how you create mass marketing. But you've got to start it by sharing the book. and gifting it to somebody, especially people that have pain. We've got a new way to do it. Share a book, we'll send it for you. If you can't get to them, they're not local, call them on the phone. Hey, I remember you were telling me about that neck pain, shoulder pain. How's that doing? Man, that shoulder, I lay on it at night. It just kills me. When I work, I can barely move my shoulder without pain. Hey, you know, nitric oxide could really help that. And you've got nitric oxide in your body. It's just not getting released. That's it. Don't tell them why. Say, I'm going to gift you a book. I'm going to send it to you. And in that book, you're going to see repeat the goal, how it reduces pain, how it reduces weight. Okay, whatever the goal is, repeat it. You want them going into the book, looking for the story that matches them. So in this case, pain, but be specific. Hey, Mary, you're going to learn in this book about nitric oxide and growth hormone. That's right in your body, and it's going to help that back pain. It's right here in the book. I want to gift this to you. That's all you say. Let them go in there with curiosity. It's the same thing for weight loss and toning up and sports performance. Repeat the goal when you give them the book. In the book, you're going to see that. Now, tell them the goal again. Okay? If you're not on Facebook with us out there, make sure you get on the Facebook page, our growing Facebook page. Any questions? Support at b3sciences.com. So if you're on here tonight, you're a guest, want some help, support at b3sciences.com. Look, if you don't have books, anybody who's on here who's building a business, you're handicapped. You need to be able to get out and talk to people and then give them the story. And if you've been in B3 for a while, you know you did your homework. People need about 20 to 30 minutes of information so their brain can say, oh, it's safe. Okay, people are using it. Oh, I can do it. Oh, it's a money back guarantee. It's going to help. It checks all the boxes. Now you got somebody who's ready to make a decision. You just got to follow up. Or, even better, put the bands on them. Take them through 3-minute guns. Take them through 2 minutes of arm workout and say, hey, move that shoulder around. Okay? Do the 4-minute guns, 4-minute legs. Probably 2 minutes in, say, hey, now check that knee. How's it feeling? That burn you're feeling, it's bringing nitric oxide and blood flow. Watch what happens. The same thing that happened to many of us. So the motivation is help. Our motivation this week is people need help. They're stuck. So many people are in pain. It's affecting their daily life. It's affecting their work, maybe affecting their relationship. They can't sleep. They need our help. And we can help probably half the population. So there's no reason why we cannot get this out there to people who need help. Okay, I'm going to end the recording now. And we'll go to some questions, see if anybody has any questions specifically about pain. You all now have the ability to unmute yourself. I'll even hit the button right here. You can hit that checkbox right on your screen. Anybody with a question, a specific condition? Angie, go ahead. Okay. Anybody question about specific pain? I think everybody got it. It's pretty straightforward. Chris Nielsen, go ahead.
Yes, I'm wondering about neuropathy. Can you talk about how the bands can help with neuropathy specifically?
Okay, neuropathy. Nerves need oxygen. Where does the oxygen come? From the blood flow. When nerves have low oxygen and get into hypoxia, it can set up a process of neuropathy that's triggered by things like disc in your back or diabetes. What would happen if we increase oxygen to nerves? All I can tell you is I've seen it time and time again. I've never heard anybody say, Dr. Mike, the pain got worse. Have not heard it in 3 years. 30,000 people have not heard it. A lot of times, I'd say 60, 70% of the time, we can't fix them all. They're coming back and saying, man, my sciatica, it's better, or it's gone. I've had sciatica for 6 months and it's gone. Remember, we get the burn, every tissue gets more blood flow. Our brain, our heart itself, every tissue. Great question, Chris. Anybody else with a question tonight? I'll hit the unmute button. Anybody got a story they want to tell about reduction in pain?
Mike, can I ask a secondary question? This is
Sure.
Chris again.
Go ahead, Chris.
For someone with limited mobility, how do they use the bands to get to the burn?
Okay, so let's talk about 4-minute legs, right? They just get in a skier position. You have anybody who's got severe pain and can't go up and down, their hip hurts, their knee, their ankle, okay? Get them in a skier position in the bands where the leg muscles are firing. Make sure it's pain-free. So, hey, let's just get you in a skier. Okay, hold that right there. And then you will get the burn. Okay, same thing for the arms. Maybe they can't bring it up all the way. Hurts the shoulder. Find a range of motion. Can be 10, 20, 30 degrees. As long as it's got tension, you can create nitric oxide in the upper extremity. Anybody else tonight? Great questions, Chris. Dr. Gray, go ahead.
I might just follow up on Chris on the neuropathy and the limited mobility. My dad, for 19 years, had neuropathy in his both lower extremities. For 7 weeks, he did the bands and it disappeared. So that is a testament that got my attention early on in the process. And I've done.
Go ahead, Doc. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Dr. Adams knows about nerves. So he really understood it. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, but yeah, that is, a good question, Chris. And again, a lot of people ask about neuropathy. So as Dr. Mike said, it's, nerves need oxygen just like any other tissue in the body and depend on a good blood supply.
Absolutely.
And then the limited mobility, I was in Wisconsin and at a group with chiropractors, and this lady that had high blood sugar, had a history of stroke, and just, again, very unstable. And she says, I want to do a demo. And I'm like, okay, what can I do with her? So I went through a extremely modified 4-minute legs. And I think we only did like maybe 2 minutes. And she barely would dip down and squat, maybe 3 or 4 inches. And I'm thinking in my head, this isn't going to be doing anything. And we finished the demo. She doesn't collapse. She's breathing heavy. She checks her, Apple Watch and says, geez, my blood sugar is already down. And she came back an hour later. It's dropping. So don't underestimate the power of the BFR and B3 when it comes to, people of all disabilities and disadvantages from a physical standpoint.
Thanks, Doc. That's why the motivation this week is help. People need our help. Sarah, go ahead.
I just want to make a comment. Right after I got the bands 2 years ago, I had a reconstruction surgery, and I did the bands, before I went into surgery, because I thought, I'm going to get as much nitric oxide and growth hormone going into this for post-op. And that evening, I'm a person who does not like to take pain medication, and was starting to have some discomfort from having the anesthesia and everything wear off. And I just thought, I'll just put my leg bands on and just go up and down my stairs. And I did it for about 5 minutes and immediately had some pain relief. And I just thought, wow, this is really crazy that just that 5 minutes and going up and down the stairs get that much pain relief. And the next day, that's all I did for my recovery was just putting the leg bands on and going up and down my stairs. And within probably 4 or 5 days, I was out hiking and doing full activities. And my recovery process was expedited exponentially because of the BFR bands. And my surgeon was astonished at how fast my healing process happened because I had been using the BFR bands. So, and the pain levels were, I took pain medication the first night just so that I could sleep through it, but I never took it from that point on. And so, I swear by them. I will always have a testimony on every topic that you could bring up because I've probably applied it in every aspect of my life. So
yes. Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Nobody knows about this yet.
I haven't.
Okay, Lana, go ahead. Go ahead, Lana.
Yeah, you know, I ran my last marathon 12 years ago because from all my years of marathoning, I'd get to 12 miles and then these two toes would start to burn like someone was holding a lit match to them. So, and my feet would swell. I went to see a podiatrist. He wanted to do surgery. He said, you cannot run anymore. My metatarsal had, my transverse arch had dropped completely in both feet, and my metatarsal heads were slamming. So he wanted to do surgery. I said, the day I can't walk is the day I do surgery. And I didn't stop running. I stopped for a short amount of time, did cross training in the pool, and came back very slowly, but still, even up till BFR, up till B3 days, I was running maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 miles, and the burn would start. And I just realized now that I've actually forgotten about the toe burn. I'm running up to 8, 9 miles
Yes.
now, comfortable, totally comfortable. And it actually just dawned on me.
Yes, that's why a demo is so important. If you can get to the person and get them in the bands, they're going to experience it. There you go. Carolyn, did you unmute yourself? Go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Mike, I have a question with people who are recovering from cancer. I don't know enough about how chemotherapy affects the body and what all is going on. Would you recommend BFR bands for people who are currently in chemotherapy or post-chemotherapy?
Yes. Email me at Dr. Mike, DRMIKE. I've already wrote the email, and there's a couple studies in there. Unless the person is severely bedridden, absolutely we can do BFR. It's going to help for cancer. I'm not going to go anywhere near that. But they're going to feel better. You're going to get more blood flow into their tissues. And it certainly can't hurt all the other healing processes that are going on. It's a great question, Carol. Okay.
And I would be glad to talk to you. I am a cancer exercise specialist, and my daughter has been fighting stage 4 colon cancer for 9 years now. I'm with her now up in Mammoth. She started her 6th round of chemo, every side effect you can imagine. So if Dr. Mike wants to share my information and you want to talk to me, I'll be really, really glad to talk to you.
Thank
Lana,
you.
what's your email?
It's Resilience Shift Health.
Can you put that in the chat box? I'll copy it, get it to everyone.
Got it.
Anybody else question? Start writing names down. Think about people you know that are in pain. There's no reason you can't have 2 or 3 people this week. Guests, customers, new members. Once they experience the bands, now you got somebody who's ready to pass out books. Somebody's going to say, I know plenty of people that have pain. We'll get Lana to share her email here, and then we will wrap it up. Okay, she just shared it right there. If you'd like to reach out to her, she's got some great information on that subject. Coach Easton will get this recording set up and available if you want to share it. But look, this is, in my opinion, easy. Tell me about the pain. Did you know nitric oxide that's right in your body can improve that? Let them be curious. They've never heard about it. Gift them the book. Don't hand it to them. I'm going to gift you this book. I care about you. You're going to see in the book how this could, repeat the goal, reduce your knee pain, help with your shoulder pain. Matter of fact, I got the bands right here. If you have 2 minutes, we'll do a nice, easy demo. You might see pain relief right now, and it'll be easy. I want to thank everybody for attending this week. I'll get the topic out for next week. And our motivation is help. We got all kinds of people we can help this week. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everyone. I'll hit the unmute if everybody wants to say bye.
Good night, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for the topic.
Good night.
Easy all the way.
Bye, all. Have a beautiful evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Oops.